Hello and welcome to another Chamber check-in episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. Today we get to hear from an organization that's an on-demand childcare platform, really helping parents and employers connect with the highest quality of childcare in the regions they serve. I have Tony Dillon with us today with Tootris to talk a little bit more about it. I'm going to bring Tony on stage right now.
Hello,
Hey,
Paul.
hey, Tony. Thanks for carving out a little bit of time with us today.
Pleasure to be here.
Hey, we're in Boise, Idaho, right here at the chamber headquarters. And Tony, tell us where you're at.
I'm located in Huntsville, Alabama, and I work with Tootris, but it is a San Diego-based company. So I come from a corporate side. We can talk about a little bit, and they left me in Alabama to kind of serve the purpose within this region.
Well, that's awesome. It's kind of fun how we can connect virtually here from all parts of the world. And I'm glad that you're able to chime in. And we'll get to that. There's a cool story that will show a little case study about the company here in a little bit, and a little video. But I just want to give people an understanding where you're at today. So, Tony, tell us a little bit about your background, history of work before we dive into the company.
Sure. I started my career in banking. I was there for 12 years, and then I was in southern Indiana, and a giant Toyota plant dropped itself in my backyard, and I decided I had an opportunity to work in the automotive manufacturing world. So I chose in 1998 to go work for Toyota. Human resources was the primary role. I did some different things through my time there, but I was with Toyota for 25 years. Different assignments, but my last assignment was one that really caused me to move, and that was to Huntsville, Alabama, 2019. Startup of a really giant greenfield plant, a joint venture between Mazda and Toyota called Mazda Toyota Manufacturing. Two competitive companies coming together, two models, two vehicles, 300,000 production per year, 4,000 team members, and COVID. So we had an under 2% unemployment rate within Huntsville. So about every possible challenge you can imagine during that time. I had a little bit of history with childcare because one of my first projects at the Toyota Indiana plant was to stand up a on-site childcare center there. So I had done that a little bit in the past. So early on, we were looking at Mazda Toyota manufacturing about a childcare solution. So I already kind of understood that that would be a real positive for our ability to recruit, retain, attendance improvements, things like that. But we had to look differently this time, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But that's my history. I ended up retiring from there at the end of 2022, and my assignment was kind of over. It was a 4-year assignment. Instead of move to a different Toyota place, I retired, and ultimately I joined Tootris because I had partnered with them when I was at Mazda Toyota. We were the first company, Mazda Toyota was, to partner with Tootris in Alabama, and the rest is history. I fell in love with the concept, the model, the amazing CEO and founder of the company. That story is yet to be told, but it's an amazing place.
All right, that's terrific. I love how our paths change with our interests, and when we find solutions for things, we often stay in that path, and we can redirect quickly. So, thank you, Tony, for that story. Tell us a little bit about this company, Tootris. Like, give us the 30,000 foot view. What is it? When did it start, and why?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about it from an employer perspective as well. At Mazda Toyota, when we were looking for childcare solutions and thinking, well, do we look for a on-site build, and do we look for a co-op solution with our suppliers and a community-based service? So we do our standard matrix and problem solving within a manufacturing world and try to come up with a solution. And then all of a sudden, the local chamber in Huntsville had heard of this company from San Diego, young company founded in 2019, a very technology-based company with this on-demand childcare solution for employers philosophy, and it was intriguing. at that time, they didn't know that much about it. We talked to them. Honestly, I had a very hard time believing that it was possible, true, you know, capability to do it. All that really was a brand new thinking way. So, but I kept getting more and more intrigued with it. We studied it hard, ultimately partnered with them, and found that so many things that Tootris has really embraced in that short period of time was using technology to bring forward solutions for parents, providers, employers, the entire ecosystem. And I started really falling in love with this concept that we had an opportunity to really improve our benefits offering to our team member base, some of which maybe couldn't even join with the company because of childcare situations, or they were having significant problems. And we know that parents in a work setting miss by far more time than others. So they have struggle with attendance, and then there's the turnover and the things like that. So this one really made sense to me because now we're talking about using existing providers within the community, and Mazda Toyota hires from 75 miles out. So most people want to have childcare closer to their home than they do their work. This was an option that they could have it anywhere. And so that's kind of what Tootris is all about. It's on demand, and the uplifting for the providers, because so much, high percentage, 70+% of providers are in-home providers. They may only watch 10 children. And if they have two openings, that may be significant to them, and they're really not exposed. They don't have maybe budgets for advertising and things like that. So hey, I have two slots available and nobody knows about it. This on demand gives them, at no cost to them, the ability to advertise here. This is who I am. This is what I do. A video about who we are. I have two slots available. I check these boxes for allergies. I have all this different criteria. Now we're on to something to uplift this provider community that not only it has been a struggle, but during COVID, it was devastating. So bringing some of that back. And we have an amazing CEO and founder of the company. Alessandra Lazymus has a very deep background in technology, but she's a Montessori teacher by trade. She's a parent, and she has a heart for solving this complicated problem beyond what I could possibly imagine. So it's been a pleasure to come work for a company with a teamwork environment that we're all doing something very special that's really not been done before. And NPR did a story one time, and they kind of called us the Airbnb of childcare, and it's kind of on in alignment with that. Your ability to go out through an app or a website and select where you live and see all the providers within the network. So there is some convenience like an Airbnb, but in general, it brings a lot of different solutions to an ecosystem that needs complete uplifting.
So when was the company founded, Tony?
2019, so it's 6 years old. We're at our 6 year anniversary this month. So that is another milestone, and continuing to grow. Like I said, Mazda Toyota was the first in Alabama. Since then, several companies. We have a wonderful partner, Micron, in Idaho that we love, and every state is really coming on board. And one thing that I'll also mention is from the corporate side. One of the challenges is the answering the question: is this a benefit that we need to or want to offer? It feels like a cost issue to the CFO. To HR, they're talking about it maybe being in the portfolio of offerings because they're thinking in terms of how do we keep what a Japanese president used to come out and ask me, Tony, happy team member. Tony-san, how do we have a happy team member? Happy team member. And his point was, how do we embrace and put our arms around our employees? And how do they feel comfortable so they can do their best work? And this is one of the no-brainers as we have peeled back the onion into what that financial ROI looks like for a business. It gets into the no-brainer category.
What does Tootris stand for? Can you tell us? Is that an acronym for something?
I'm not great at this, but it's derived from a French word that means tutoring,
Okay.
and it goes from there. And
Okay.
there's a little bit more of a story than that I'm not prepared to tell you. But yeah, it's kind of a strange name. Once people get it, they get it. But it's a really cool name.
Well, all the regular business names are already taken, so you got to be really inventive
Yeah,
in creating your name and your
that's
website
right.
now. Um, this I love this conversation. The timing couldn't be better because we're heading back to school, and obviously the summer's coming, to an end for our school age children, and we have parents that work, two parents in a household work as well, and finding daycare solutions has always been a challenge. In fact, our chamber does a gathering of thought leaders every year to talk about a subject or a theme that we can ultimately enhance. And this year was education. And you know what came up? Childcare
Yeah.
was huge because it was workforce development and education as well. And Tootris got a shout out during the event from a couple of local companies that are utilizing the service. And what I thought was unique is it really gives a direct finding mechanism to find these high quality in demand or childcare services, which is really cool. Um, and so that's when I think you and I connected, maybe a little bit before that, but after that, I've just been shouting to the rooftops about Tootris and about what you offer. Um, do you mind if I show a little video really quick?
Sure. Yeah.
This kind of wraps it all up, and it's a story about this Toyota manufacturing facility, and then kind of the partnership with Tootris. So let me cue that up right now, and we'll share that.
Just hop in the car, just left work. My first stop is going to go pick my kid up, take him home. Yeah, that's my best part, man, when I go home. Let my son let my daughter get home too. To me, buddy, it's very tough, man. It's very tough, but you have to do it. You have no other choice but put your kid in daycare or one person stay home. So yeah, finding the daycare was a super big deal.
We're in Huntsville, Alabama, northern Alabama. We are a new automotive manufacturing assembly facility. We are a joint venture manufacturing company between Mazda and Toyota. We are a company that really trains from a variety of backgrounds. And we recruit these individuals from a 75-mile radius. And that's very important to us, that we're embracing our team members and providing the type of infrastructure to incentivize team members to stay long-term with us and feel like they're cared for. And that becomes, very important as we look at non-traditional type of benefits like childcare services.
In this part of Alabama, it is hard or difficult to find child care providers and support. Before, we had a lot of team members that worried because of swing shift or the rotating shifts, not being able to find childcare and have assistance with that subsidy.
And then it was our local Chamber of Commerce contact. Lindsay called me one day and said, "You really need to take a look at this opportunity for kind of a different way to think about childcare." Childcare wouldn't exist from one facility, but actually could be accommodated from nearly any facility. They may already have childcare services being utilized. Now we work with that facility. They become a member of the network with Tootris, and we actually now provide the subsidy benefit back to them. Or the will call our partner and work through what available into where you live. And it really led us down the path of, this is not a Mazda Toyota project. This is Mazda Toyota saying, how can we positively influence and help the community? And is there a spot for us in that?
Hi, Nala. Hi. Yeah. Hi, girl. Are you having a good day? Yes. The partnership between Mazda and Tootris has been wonderful for us. It has given our parents more access to our childcare facility that they may not have seen before or had access to before. But it has also given those parents in this economic time that extra, just that little bit extra that they need to make it through.
Not finding daycare will be very difficult. One of us going to work, definitely. Pandemic hit, it affected me big time. I couldn't really pick up a stable job. So my sister and I was telling her that she knows somebody that works here. So I did apply for it and we moved on. I had a hard time finding childcare. Look and look and look and look. So I didn't really know anything about the bonus part before I applied for the job. That's when I get in contact with Tootris and they did what I had to do to find me daycare.
We have a full week of orientation to our team members, and we showcase the child care solution as part of that.
That information that they get regarding the child care assistance, you should see the looks on their faces. They are so relieved. They're excited about it.
MTM is the first company I ever worked for that actually pay a tuition towards your daycare. Fit in my lifestyle because they open very early and they close very late. Plus, they open on weekends. MTM is a beautiful company to work for.
You know, if I could go back in terms of time, I would have started this in the community about 20 years ago. Actually, the more of us that take part in it, the better it's going to get. And it's going to provide these solutions that are going to ultimately be positive for the providers, for the employers, for the parents, and ultimately, the most important, the children.
So bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, you too. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
I really think that was a good recap of kind of the real partnership between the provider, the employer, and the employee. Right? What a great solution.
Yeah, I think that one of the terms I said there in my former life was infrastructure. And when these, like for instance, when any business comes to town, they don't just build a building. Sometimes there has to be roads connected, there's utilities connected. And I think that we're in a time now where child care solutions are part of the infrastructure needed. And I want to challenge businesses kind of with my former manufacturing hat or healthcare or whatever the industry is to say, hey, we create the problem as employers. We pull people out of the home for positive reasons to provide employment to people, but we are also to be problem solvers, and we need to be part of the solution. This is a journey, not a destination, and we have continued work to do. That's why Tootris is also, Paul, in the atmosphere of helping states with kind of the tri-share models between government, employer, employee. We are working with child care resource and referral programs all over the United States to help uplift them through technologies so that they may provide training and services to the providers. A lot of work about the providers. This does it. I'll give you one quick example, is that there was an employee at Mazda Toyota that actually left for a positive reason, started their own childcare center and used the Tootris platform, immediately was able to fill seats, and what a beautiful story. That's the kind of thing that I just love seeing in this world.
So there's opportunities to even educate the providers.
Absolutely. They need many of them need help, and they're not all large centers. Only a small percentage, 10% maybe, are the large centers.
Right.
So we need to continue to work and help support all the providers.
Okay. How do businesses engage, Tony?
There's my name. I'm always happy to engage just personally with any of the businesses. You can always go to Tootris.com to learn a little bit more about it. Put in a zip code, see what's out there. Don't let that one page slow you down, though, because we are continually growing the network. By the way, over 233,000 providers we have in our network now, and that's growing every day. So, yeah, so get a hold of me. I'm happy to talk about it. Schedule. We can do a 30-minute demo, have a conversation, and really help folks understand, including the financial ROI piece. That's always a sticking point. We can map that out for a partner.
Well, childcare is the price that it is, and it's an investment in your kid's future. And when you have quality childcare, you can stay focused at your occupation and not have to worry about your kids' well-being. And I think it's really neat that some local companies here are subsidizing some of that cost. It's huge.
Yes,
yep.
It's important, and where some of the magic happens is when there's a subsidy. Different ways to do subsidies. Some buy packages of backup care days only that help during those kind of tough situations. Mazda Toyota did a full stipend of up to $250 a month. Now I'm lowering some of the costs. And if you really want to have some glue with your employees, that's how you do it. You basically make them feel great about working there. I don't want to work anywhere else because I have this whole suite of options, including childcare.
And I would imagine providers can connect with you as well through the website.
Yes, absolutely. Through the website, we work with providers all the time, and we're continually growing and helping them through resources. Maybe it's training, maybe it's finding financial resources. Absolutely.
And even parents can go to the Tootris.com website, put in your zip code, and you can find high quality daycare right there.
Absolutely. And if it looks like sometimes it looks like a childcare desert, it may not be. We may not have a corporate relationship in that specific area, but once we establish corporate relationships, we actually go in and we sign up the providers within that community or communities. So that's kind of how we make the magic work there.
Cool. Tony, thanks for your efforts in this industry. It's a huge issue, and we're loving the fact that there's this new solution.
I love the relationship with the chamber, and I just love being a part of this solution, and I appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Tony, enjoy that weather there in Huntsville.
Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate your investment here in the chamber. When you come to Boise, please reach out to us. We'd love to show you around.
Absolutely will do.
Okay. All right. Have a great weekend.
You too.